Coming up on part 2 of this Caribbean Vibe Houston interview with Keznamdi.
Don't overthink, man. These ideas and these creations that you have within yourself that you want to see yourself achieve before you transition out of this earth, do them, man.
Yeah.
Do it, man, and try. Feel.
Real
feel,
thing.
feel. The best thing you can do in life is feel. You see me? Because so you get the victory. Urgency. Because, you know, life is that decision between, that perfect balance between having patience and being urgent. Is that constant, you have to be patient, but you still have to be proactive, and urgency is like that constant conversation between those two. And that was a common theme coming up in my life at that time when I was writing that record, where it was just like, yo, one, you know, seeing my parents get older, and then seeing my child, my two sons grow and get taller and older too. And that, like every youth who, you know, have children go through that, and it's just that crazy time where you're like, damn, time really is a limited resource. And then we put that in that's what I was feeling, and I had to say that, and I was lucky enough to get the right sounds to help bring out that feeling. Confidence, man. Like, so you're gonna feel nervous and you're gonna feel shy and you're gonna feel things, but go to that moment and go seize it with your confident self. Yes, man.
Yeah, big up my brother. You know what I mean? Like I say, we can. You have so much good stuff to say. You know, it's so real too. You know, it's good talking to real people.
Yes,
mm-hmm. Yeah, for real.
Your reciprocity. When we looking at your eyes, we see the possibilities. And we're not gonna tell you lies and give you broken promises.
Yeah, I was a little bit harder on the artists that you know put out gun lyrics, but I had to realize the same thing that you said. Okay, I will tell you, I was real hard on him. Like, man, come on, bro. But you never know how people. And I think we was interviewing Warrior King.
Give her the powers to chant. Give her the powers to chant. Give her the powers to chant. We come to give the people what they need and not what they want.
And he said something like, say, even when I started back in the day, I was kind of like doing gun lyrics before he really turned culture, you know what I mean? Because he used to mimic Bounty Killer. But when you, as a big man, when you start thinking now, you realize you don't know everything. And I had to realize I don't know everything because I ain't never lived that life. So I'm looking at the perspective from the life that I live. Like, I would never go up and shoot somebody, especially live online or whatever, you know what I mean? But those guys, like you said, man, more power to them, bless them, and I hope, you know, we all get to that.
You know, for me, it's like, yo, it's nothing wrong if you sing gun lyrics, you know. Bounty Killer used to sing the wickedest gun lyrics, you know, but it had a cause behind it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't like just gun lyrics, so.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you do gun lyrics is more in a clash kind of vibe, and everybody knew it too.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But it was also news. When you listen to them on your song. Yeah. You listen to news. So I don't mind it, you know. Once you deal with it in another way there. But when you deal with it in a way where you can see clearly say a shock value thing you're upon and only that you're upon, this on me kind of, it's not as creative to me. It's like, yo, that's easy.
Right.
Forget a number one, it's easy, you know. Because you have shock value behind it. If me go do certain things and go do certain things to my body or whatever, man, instantly, Keznamdi is going to become a household name.
Right.
Instantly.
Right.
If I say something that's controversial or whatever it may be, instantly we become a household name. And then now, with that attention now, it's up to me and my infrastructure for kind of know how to turn that into a business, because little youth them know say attention is the greatest resource right now, you know. It's the most important in terms of nowadays making money, not even just in artists but just starting any business, branding. Attention, everybody is seeking to get attention, so it's easy to create them things, but you're more skillful as a musician where you can drop one project chronology and the people them still not get enough of it, and you still have to go after you go listen to the whole of the shock value now from the country drive. You say,
all right. Speaking of creating music, like when you create, is it just like sitting where you're sitting right now with that natural green screen in the back? Are you in I said it to more one time. I said, you in a little dark room. He goes, why you say it like that? Like a little dark room is bad.
Because at the time he was sitting in a dark room.
Exactly.
For me, I think that I try not to force music at all.
Yeah.
So I try to show up though at the end of the day. So like even when I'm not feeling as inspired or as creative, you know, I show up, because there's been a lot of times where I've showed up and less inspired time has turned into one of the like my favorite songs. Or, you know what I mean? Like it, you know. So I try to show up, but I don't feel like I haven't been in the studio since I would say like November.
Right.
But I feel there's there's music like just a pour out of my pores. Like I'm very hungry to go in the studio right now and begin that process again, you know, because since I finished my album, I kind of just, me and the team been heavily in infrastructure and rebuilding and kind of making sure it get the necessary attention that it needs, so you know it can be heard. So mentally I haven't really been there, but you know I also like that too, because it just allows me to live real life too. You know, a little bit, you know what I mean, you know, and kind of, you know, soak up the pain, soak up the joy, soak up all of the things them way, you know. But like making music for me, I try my best to, it's a very vulnerable thing for me, music. You know what I mean? Because I really sing what I feel, you know what I mean? So it's like enough time for do them thing in front of people is like it too vulnerable. Most of my music I approach that, especially nowadays. When you hear the new project that we're dropping this year, you'll probably understand this conversation a little bit more deeper. But you know, but then you have records like, you know, City Lock or you know, the more fun records that, you know, I can do that in the room with a lot of people because it's flows and it's just rhymes
it's
and,
a vibe.
You know, and a vibe, and you know them tune I go playing at the club more than likely, or you know, so
because I killed City Lock, I ain't gonna lie, I killed that shit, like
man. So for me, you know, songs like that are joy, but most of the records them what me love for really make, and what my 17-year-old self would have been proud of is the ones them with me, you know. So I spend a lot of time making music with myself, to be honest.
Nice.
Yeah.
Can you talk about one of those songs that kind of was a result of that overflow that you talked about? Kind of like, you know, you hadn't been in the studio for a while and a song was in you and then it kind of came out.
I can remember like Skyline Drive.
We're steaming all day, all night. Me and the daughter have to go on no tight. The Rasta man party always nice. That's how we do it up a Skyline Drive.
Those records, I remember not going to the music for a good going to the studio for a good little while, and like, you know, just feeling the pressure and anxiety of delivering as an artist, you know, because it's still a business at the end of the day, as much as it is my passion and my calling, so call it to say. But, and I remember Time was one of those records. Time was the last record that closed out the album, and I was kind of like basically finished the album, and then I took a break from like going in the studio, and then that was like, I went in the studio like 3 days before that and nothing was really coming, and I just leave it and close the door and just let that be. And then the next day I'm forward in.
No, we don't have a long time here. You can't get it back, no time can spare. And tomorrow never promise, I swear. So make we cherish every moment we share. And if you can't buy time with no fortune, appreciate the little things in your garden. And you don't know where the life I go call you.
So yeah, and you know, I can even remember writing that record. I remember how urgency, because you know, life is that decision between, that perfect balance between having patience and being urgent. Is that constant, you have to be patient, but you still have to be proactive, and urgency is like that constant conversation between those two. And that was a common theme coming up in my life at that time when I was writing that record, where it was just like, one, you know, seeing my parents get older, and then seeing my child, my two sons grow and get taller and older too. And that, like every youth who, you know, have children go through that, and it's just that crazy time. You're like, damn, time really is a limited resource. And then we put that in that's what I was feeling, and I had to say that, and I was lucky enough to get the right sounds to help bring out that feeling, you know. This song is also like for them too, for creatives to not overthink.
Right.
Or just people in general, just don't overthink. And, you know, this is a perfect example of me not overthinking and just kind of like, yo, just relax and just make life pass through you instead of try to force life up, man. Don't overthink, man. These ideas and these creations that you have within yourself that you want to see yourself achieve before you transition out of this earth, do them, man.
Yeah.
Do it, man, and try. Feel.
Real
feel,
thing.
feel. The best thing you can do in life is feel. You see me? Because so you get the victory, you know?
Bro,
Yeah.
like, I wish more people would understand that. You know what I mean? Because I used to, man, failure used to hit me hard. Like, I felt inside like a failure before I started understanding, well, how you learn a lesson if you don't fail. Because when you fail, you learn what not to do. You know what I mean? And I understand.
I feel away for failing. It feel like, damn, but at the failure, at this where you're on the tip, on the cusp of where you want to achieve in your life is at the cusp of failure.
Yeah, bro.
Mm.
You know what I think it is? I think it's pride. You know, and I was telling Neil before, you know, the Bible talks about, you know, pride cometh before the fall. Yeah. And, you know, we don't want to fail because we, you know, that failure.
Don't want to let down nobody.
You know, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it hits at your pride. It hits at, you know, that thing at you that says, hey, I am greater than I'm great, you know. And then the failure is like, no, you're not. No, you're not. But like you say, taking that period to learn from it, to kind of see, okay, I didn't do this work, this didn't work out. What can I do better? Actually having that introspection is key. But one thing I would say, the reason why Neil, my thing is like, I love new music and I love making sure that particularly conscious vibes, because that's what we love. I love making sure that people hear the music. And then I heard that time track. I heard Pressure. First of all, I heard Pressure when you lost that.
Bop, bop,
and I was just like, okay, Keznamdi is back. All right, I like it.
Pressure, we under pressure. The youth got no options, and we need some action. Everything get higher. Yeah, we down to the wire. Youth that turn to the crime, and don't care about the time.
But then time kind of hits. And the thing about time that I really like a lot, is kind of similar to, so I'm a big Nas fan, and he has a song called The Message. And that song kind of builds up off of just that simple guitar. And the same way time does, it's just like, it starts with the guitar intro, you start to flow over it. And then, then the beat comes in and full thing comes in. And it's kind of like, you've kind of the thing about a song, it kind of builds and builds and builds and then explodes. And it's like, oh, okay. And you explode into the chorus of it. So that's that kind of energy that I get from that song. And
man, I appreciate that, man. I think I really love that record, man, because it's just like, it's a real reminder to self, and, really proud of how that record came forward, because even just little things that are going on within the family and them little things is just like, I feel like it's such a time, like it's so timely. No pun intended. It's just like, I don't know how to say it much more than that, but it's just the feeling that I get off of that record, even just for myself as a listener. Mm-hmm. It really does me good, like it really reminds me for kind of like be focused, Yeah,
that's what's up. I got one question before Uncle L go into the new record. So when you were like 5, the bio said that you wrote your first song at 5. Is that true? Did somebody help you write that?
No. My mom was doing a children's album.
Okay.
Save the World, and so naturally, a lot of the records on it was a lot of my sisters and their friends doing like the background vocals.
Right.
Save the world and the trees, save the world and your seas. Songs like that where kids could sing along to. So a lot of my older sisters and their friends were on that album. I was very young. I was 5, so there was one of the songs that was called Mixer Color.
Okay.
And it's just a song about like what colors make what color. I don't even know what color make what color now to this day. You know, it's a song about mix of color. You see? And I remember that was a very those memories where I was in the studio and my mom would be holding up the crayons like red and blue, you know what I mean? And it's just like mix a color all day long. It was just this little, fun song. It never made the album though,
Okay,
but
okay.
I still remember that first time, like, everybody's watching you, you're kind of nervous. Your mother is there. You're trying to get these takes right. You know what I mean? And yeah, that was my first like real recording experience,
Do you remember the first song you ever wrote? Because I thought came to mind. I wrote a song back in the day, but I'll let you go first. I actually remember like the first little piece of lyrics too. That's funny.
I don't remember it, but I remember writing it. And it was a song about, every summer me and the family would go to the country in Jamaica.
Right.
And, it just used to feel like driving there was like a whole year just to get there. You know what I mean? Because them time the road them in Jamaica you never have them pretty highway where you have now.
Right.
Corners and you're sitting and you just can't wait to get to see your cousin them and you know what that summer. So I remember writing a song called Clap on till me reach Silver Sun. Clap on till me reach Silver. And it was like a song talking about, I remember all of us in the car, but I was the one writing it, while all my sisters were sleeping and, me and my parents were. So I remember that, but like me taking it up on myself now.
Yeah.
Not thinking about it as fun, but no, the first passion, I was probably like around 12 years old, where I started to know, like I had my little laptop with the headphones on the mic. The mic on it.
Yeah.
And that's what me and my friends used to record. Like, so we used to forward over the weekend and record with a little the thing and everybody did them verse. Others. When bad man walk the corner, the street is hotter than a sun. Some stuff like that. Some melodies that still
nice.
Yeah. And then things like songs that as a student, as I going to school, like Jamaica used to have a song like, Father, forgive me not complain, but sometimes the homework stressing on my brain. The pencil point broke, I'm a nana sharpener. Sometimes I have to ask, what is Father? Things like
that song will probably still hit today. But it's cool because here was mine though. I don't know why I think I was like 7. I can't remember the age, right? But this was my lyrics. Here come the birds and the bees. Here come the flowers and the trees. That's the way it should be with you and me, baby. That's all I can remember. That's the first song I ever wrote in my life.
Yeah. Big tune that, man. Where you find them lyrics, them right?
I don't know, bro, because I had no relationship at that point, so I don't know why that came to my brain at that time.
Love is a thing, It
For
will
real,
bring
bro.
out certain things out of you.
Come on, man. You see my keyboard back here?
Love, man.
I used to play keyboard.
They did end up get the girl?
No.
When you write them lyrics?
No. I was too shy, bro. I was too shy to even approach the girl that I wrote that song about. You know what I mean? It's just some little girl that I like in the neighborhood, man. But anyway, Uncle L, take it into the new stuff, bro. I'm gonna re-record that.
For real. But before we talk about the new album, one thing that it's kind of happened recently, and your management sent me something about it. But talk about, because I guess like I said, there's certain artists, certain reggae artists that you could tell they have love. From the continent and outside the US, outside of Jamaica, but like the continent of Africa in particular. Obviously, Black Hero is a guy we've been following, and he's been doing a lot of stuff, over in Ghana and shooting videos and that kind of stuff. And obviously, we've seen you've done that as well. And your background. Obviously, you did spend time in
Tanzania.
In Tanzania, right. But I saw something where the president of Ghana, the Ghanaian president, he had big you up and was bigging up your music. So you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So you know, first things, after hearing the album, it sounded very like a lot of like African textures to me. The tones and the feelings, and there's a lot of the common theme in the album to is colonial bondage. You know what I mean? So I felt that was one of the things of me being afraid to do it. And then, but time is of the essence. So it's like you need to tackle these things, and we just book the ticket, then, bro. Me never know nobody. Me no know no. Because I've lived on the continent for 7 years, but in Eastern Africa. Right. Traveled all around the continent. Went to Egypt, go South Africa, go. Because once you're up on the continent, it kind of easy, kind of just go certain places. You know what I mean? But never been to West Africa as a Jamaican. You know what I mean? So you know all these years of because Eastern Africa. I mean Ethiopia. Because we lived in Ethiopia for 3-4 years. That was a very spiritual place. It was very strict. It was very. Like that. But then West Africa is the rhythm and you know what I mean? So you, as a youth, you really want to find a connection there, So after making the album now, I didn't release music for a good little while, and I really wanted to also bridge the gap, and because knowing that Africa is so untouched, especially when it comes to reggae music, and seeing it being that reggae is pop music out there, is like I felt like this calling for just say, yo, go there and kind of open the doors up. Go and show people that you're amongst, and you're instead of just going to America. I spend a lot of my time touring the US, And like even with our direction of where we're going, we want to do a lot more things on the continent. So that move was to kind of lay some foundations. Anyway, we just booked the ticket them, never know nobody. Did a hope and pray, say something, boom, 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 we make some dots, certain people who know the music already. And anyway, when we got there, we got just for being reggae and Jamaican first, there's an excitement before them even. And then when there was a lot of people who recognize the sound and the frequency already, and there was also a lot of people who knew of what's going on, in the Caribbean and the soca revival, but them just didn't have to go a little deeper to say, so anyway, so when we got there now, I think the president, their cabinet or whatever won some kind of seat or something like that. And they call King Lagaze. I don't know if you know who King Lagaze is. He's like one of the biggest radio disc jocks. Like he has one of the biggest programs in West Africa.
Okay.
Right.
And they call him to play Victory. Because they wanted, and they call him to play Victory as a thing there. So King Laga say, yo, him there right now, I shoot a video. And him say, what? Yo, and then next minute we're shooting a video with like 100 bikes I drive behind me, and with Dede, and then T's like, yo, stop, yo, the president wants to see me, I say, what? I said, all right, so you sure? And it was, all right, cool. So we're driving on, there's like 100 bikes behind us, and we are driving on, and then we get to this road, and the man, everybody, like the security, and everybody is just going crazy, like, yo, what is all this? Everybody had to leave. They took our phones, whatever, and no pictures, none of them things. And we went in, and, we met him, and it was kind of cool, to kind of be there for like that short period of time, and we in the president office, you know what I mean, and was at a party, and they were celebrating the win that they had, and met the Minister of Gold over there, and the president, the vice president, all of them was there, and it was just crazy.
Right.
Yeah, but it was cool, you know what I mean, and he was just saying, they love Victory in particular over out there, I'll drop one piece of sauce then. One piece of sauce, me I drop. One of them chili pepper, them. We're not even going to go with the stuff.
Congo pepper.
Yeah, man. We have a record coming out with the Gully God himself, Mavado.
Nice.
It's a record that's forward in any minute now. We're just kind of getting certain infrastructure together for it, but we have a very important, nice, a little bit more fun record than Identity and Pressure and Time. A little bit more,
Yeah.
Fun, for the youth them. You know what I mean? You can't live out the 16-year-old youth them. So,
For real, bro.
Right.
So yeah, looking forward to that record. And we have some other, we have like, there's only 2 artists really featured on this, you know, and my sister is one of them, and there's another very big artist who I'm not gonna say yet. And a lot of it is just me, fam, you know what I mean? Just a record, you know. I was even thinking about who is gonna feature on this, and I was just going in the street, music, you know what I mean?
So when you say sister, you're speaking of Kalissa?
Jalissa, yeah.
Okay. Your other sister used to sing too, Uncle Ella. I was talking about that earlier.
All of my family do music, man. All of them have sung and this and that and thing. But who took it the furthest was me and Kelly.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Camila used to be in what the thing where she used to name again? She was in a group with this other girl called Regina B, who was a Miss Jamaica one time. Forget the name, but them did have 2 bad songs, man. Camila, a big artist, man. Don't run to them. And I daughter forward now, Kaylani, with some, she's a gem. She's like I would almost say a prodigy almost, with how our vocals make you feel, you know?
Yeah. So let me ask. In a family, obviously, as yours, where the children grew up in a musical setting, and so often, people either you have the path to follow and maybe even exceed what your parents did, and then others say, well, okay, my parents did this, but I want to do something different and go a different route. What made you choose music and pushing it that route?
It was never like a decision. That's the first thing that I made. It was a combination of decisions, of a million decisions. Mm-hmm. I mean, because every day, obviously the first thing is love at first sight. That first time hearing my vocal on a record and you say, yo, this mad, or that first time hearing an artist. I remember when the first lyrics me did write down was Sizzla Kalonji, Dry Cry. I remember that was one of the songs as a little young youth, probably 10 years old, if anything. And then I'm writing these lyrics down and memorizing these lyrics. And then also just when Junior Gang, Damian Marley was coming, it was very relatable for me as an artist. The Marleys, because I'm growing up in a Rasta household. Them grew up in a Rasta household. You know what I mean? So it was very like how him would say things. It was just like, yo, this is the coolest thing me ever hear. In life.
Right. Listening
to Mr. Anything what Steve and the old Marleys them did, the youth them, I was very in tune into that as well. So also hearing other musicians and you want to emulate them, that's the first, you try, you know what I mean? And, and you DJ lyrics or you DJ Sizzla Kalonji lyrics, and then it become a thing where, as I said, like for me, football was really my thing, as a youth. Like that's where you could see some kind of talent. Musically, I couldn't sing. I wasn't there. I wasn't there. It wasn't like Kelissa, who since she had a little picnic, she the school singing and all the way up. Wasn't and 12, I was really into hip hop, so it was more like lyrics. So my parents couldn't relate to that at the time because I wasn't doing nothing high. It was just some like idiot lyrics from me, alright. You know what I mean? And so it wasn't like them never really. It wasn't really like a thing that was like Kelissa, like. You know what I mean? And it was, they were right, you know what I mean? Like that never, what me did I do at the time wasn't making sense. My father used to, would never even allow me in the studio. My father.
For real?
My father tell me, say, yo, if you want to go in the studio, you have to go learn how to play a guitar. You see me? You can't just go in and you think I just go in the studio. Go learn how to play a guitar. You see me? He was very adamant about that when he started to see that and I was like, Daddy, they did our lyrics, so I started out just writing lyrics, and that love just, it's the only thing that I've been very serious about in my life, even from 12 years old, where I just always had that urge to record, and then those decisions. Then I went through that time where nobody was liking my music or caring about it, or it never made any, and I wasn't doing it for that. I was just doing it to say that I have this record for myself.
Right.
Then when we reached like, say, 18, 16, I start really, I say, yo, I want the music. I remember that, like, yo, this is what I want to do with my life. Like, I remember now, like, around them age, but I still wasn't good. You know, so it still never makes sense, you know, at that time. And then now, say, like, 18, like, probably around 18, 19, I start record songs that actually started to sound good now, because I never gave up since 12. I was working, I was like literally drills, like writing lyrics every day, freestyling with my friends, like just non-stop as much as I can, you know. And then that's when that ego start to kick in a little to car. Now you get your first chance of somebody liking your music, says like, what? Not before, you know. And then that's another love where you can share that love.
Yeah.
With somebody, it puts something in your ego too, and you think rightfully too, you know what I mean? And so that's why I say it's like, it was never like a thing where, yo, I'm gonna be in the thing. It's more like it was just a continuous, I continuously dedicated my life towards this, and it was a combination of decisions. And even though there was a point in my life where I had to literally decide now, where it's just like, all right, for really do this thing, I'm gonna have to give it at least like most of my time. You know what I mean? I can't be doing no other thing for kind of really. And you know, so you're making all these decisions, all these small decisions and big decisions, the combination of them. So, and then naturally, you know, it's in my household too, so it was easier because you had parents who understand, because they are some musicians, so they, you know. And then also having a studio at my house was a big privilege, you know what I mean? Because, you know, I really got to record now. You know, a lot of times young artists write a lot of music, but they don't get to hear themselves.
Right.
And because you're writing all of these records, but the minute you start to hearing, now you can start critiquing and saying, oh, that inflection on my vocal at that moment, maybe if I do this, you know, and you start seeing. But when you're always DJing it and the only time you can hear it is when you're performing it, you're not really hearing it. You can't listen to it. You can hear it, but you can't listen to it, you know? Right. So it's like, say, if on a DJ in a mix, it's not until you hear back the mix you can critique and say. True. That, but while you do it, you can't think about that. You think about the next song. Exactly. You know? Yeah. So being able to have that at a young age, you know what I mean? And then again, my father made me fight for it. It wasn't like something where, because as I said, it wasn't my father a revolutionary, you know, fam. The man in a joke, you know. Right. One of them day, I wanna forgot to talk to my parents, and you see what me I talk. We'll like that. Yeah, man. And but my father a revolutionary, very serious man. I was very afraid of him growing up. Not in a bad way, but that's what, you know, respect. As a father.
Yeah, respect.
You know, I had to fight for that to really get there, because him just never did take me serious at that time, you know. Like, brother, them thing, music and another little joke thing, you know. You see me? So, yeah, man, music, man. And then here I am now, still making that same decision that I made at 12 years old. So, it's not long to make that decision here for now. It's an ongoing decision, you know. So when you say, when did you make the decision? It's a decision where you have to make every day, you know. Yeah. Especially when your passion is your business, cause all the problems that come with business. So imagine if you sell a phone or a laptop, or this a little laptop you sell. Right. But when you sell your core being almost, right, there's all these things that just make you overthink, and it's like, is it really worth it? You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's an ongoing decision, man, that we make every day.
Was there ever a time when you're like, you know, boy, I should have just played football yesterday? All this music thing here is stressing me out. Yeah, you ever got to that point in the whole while you was doing music?
Yeah, man. I've gotten to the point a couple of times, man, where I'm just like, yo, I'm perfectly fine, just like making music and like whoever want to hear it versus this ongoing thing with my team, and we're trying to tackle the world, and we're trying to get these songs heard, and that daily, like, yo, you know, trust me, yes, I've gotten, but then, you know, it's always in that moment, there's a little reminder where somebody sends you a message, right, or tells you something, and they're just like, yo, I really love this song, and or I go into the studio and I record a song and I'm excited to share it again. And
Right.
Yes.
like that. It's yeah, man, them thing that happen every day, fam, every week. But then the good thing is there's more reminders putting gas in your truck than there is, you know what I mean,
Yes.
something trying to stop it. Because life is duality, you know, so you're not gonna just go through life smooth, so.
Yeah, the reason why I ask those type of questions, man, because my hope is when a young artist see this who thinking about giving up or really don't want to give up, but just like reach that block and they see this, they understand, yo, I love that youth music. That youth make good music. So if that person can keep going, man, let me keep going too. You know, I think a lot of the stuff you said throughout the whole interview was inspirational and just real. Even as is, you know, speaking to your dad, saying, nah, bro, you got to take this serious. You know what I mean? Like, but because even now you have a good relationship with your guitar, right? Even to this day.
Last I know, I never understood what my dad was doing, because remember, before that, I was just rapping. There was no melody or nothing. So when I started to play the guitar now and I plucked them strings and my father showed me, I think it was A minor to D minor, him showed me. Up to this day, I use them cause there's so much in them. Like those two songs, those two first cause I learned, I use them a lot in my music.
Right.
But anyway, is a guitar teach me how to sing? Because now you're strumming, I know it, that connection between your vocals and this instrument, it forces you to bring out melody and to sing and chant. And then now I started to sing, and then I had to, go through the struggle of learning how to sing on key.
Right.
Because now you're facing that buckle, that uphill buckle, and that is an uphill buckle because I had a great ear, but I couldn't sing. So now you have to connect your ear to your vocals now and make sure that you sing on key. Then the next step is now bringing melodies in my flows now, from there. And then going crazy in that world now. Come for luck now, you sit till into, and crazy, and then you start to realize and get a little older now, and you say, all right. Now it's just like the simplicity of it now and the texture and the quality, and you start to learn for stack harmonies, and it's this real uphill road of just learning your craft, and that started out from strumming my two chords, A minor and D minor.
Nice. That reminds me of like when I watch comedians, right? You ever notice when a comedian just starts out is like, he's real antsy. He don't want to leave no spaces. He want to keep talking.
Yeah.
And then after a while, once they settle down and understand timing, they can literally say something, pause for 5 seconds, get a reaction out of the audience, and keep going. You know what I mean?
And you know what's crazy? I remember when I used to perform on big stages for the first time. Right. I used to run up and, like when I watch some of my young performances, I used to run up and down on these stages because I just felt uncomfortable until after doing like 30 run cities and night after night, I just stand up one place and give the message. Couple check in there and
Bro,
have the flag man to run around.
Exactly.
I know we gotta let you go, bro, but I remember when I first did radio, right? I used to play on a song called Mikey Fate Sound. And, they let me play on the station. They didn't know that I actually went to school for radio, you know what I mean? But I never did it live. I was nervous. So they all in the station, but they playing cards. You know what I mean? They got girls and stuff, and I'm in the studio, and I look at the mic, and it was just so terrifying, bro. And I said, Super Neil 90.9, for like an hour. That was it. You know what I mean? Because
it's so funny that you said that, because there's certain things where I still go through that till to this day, where certain things just like, I'm afraid. I'm not gonna lie.
Real talk.
And there's certain things that I do, like if I'm really afraid, I'm gonna go watch Capitan performance when I'm doing at Paris. I don't know if you ever see that famous performance about Capitan though, and just to owe him just aggravate the people, and him just go there with that confidence that the performance they always give me a powerful thing, and then doing a lot of visualizing. Because in life as a youth, if you listen to this, you have to have utmost confidence in yourself. When Marcus Garvey said that, it wasn't just saying that for say have confidence, but that's the only way people are gonna believe you.
Right.
And the only way people are going to take you serious is if you have that utmost confidence in who you are and what you are doing. Unless people can sense it quick, man. Remember saying, people don't know how sensitive them is to auras and certain things, and then just live them life. But gravity is happening, right? When you drop this, you can't see it, but it'll happen. Right. It's the same way people can just pick up on frequency right away. So confidence, man, like, so you're going to feel nervous and you're going to feel shy and you're going to feel things, but go to that moment and go seize it with your confident self. Yes, man.
Yeah, big up my brother. You know what I mean? Like I say, we can. You have so much good stuff to say. You know, it's so real too. You know, it's good talking to real people.
Yes,
Yeah, for real.
If folks want to get in touch with you, how they get in touch with you? Check you out.
Keznamdi, Keznamdi, and you know, whichever, we're there everywhere where you are got it. So just type in your name there anywhere you're there, and we did it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So one thing before you go. Don't forget to send me that link for your sister, because I really want to talk to her about the natural meds. You know what I mean? Because I would like to get off the high blood pressure pills. I just really took it because my wife is like, you know, she believes in Western medicine, so she's like, nah, I'll take the pill, which is probably a good thing because my blood pressure was 189.
No, man, like, you know, like I think those things like that.
Yeah.
Where you go to a naturopath, you know, like this, where it's like it's more managing certain things,
right,
by what you do. So I think that she will definitely be worth it to sit down for an hour with. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Make that link. And man, you know, when the album drops, like I said, we'll feature the entire album. I can't wait for it, man.
Yes, man. Let's do it, man. And hopefully we can do something a little bit more, you know what I mean, like in person or whatever.
Yeah,
you know? Yeah, man.
Definitely.
We should be doing certain things. So if we're passing through your city, we definitely have to connect. You know?
And likewise. The next time I head to your side.
Now come Jamaica.
Yo, we're actually trying to come back this year. If it don't, because I just got married 2 Fridays ago.
What? Congratulations,
yeah. I'm on the other side now. I'm on Uncle L's side now.
Yeah, well, I have a child coming in about a month. So.
Yeah.
Well, so the greatest thing I'm tell all of my brethren them we have youth forward. There's a money coming for you, you know. Any youth man, let me tell this, you know. Anytime you have youth, something abundantly happen. During or right after or right before, and you think it's yours, but it's not yours. Or the youth are prep themselves already from before in the womb, prep up the thing. So you have a blessing come your way, man. So congratulations.
Thank you, man. I received that. I received that.
Picture when it's happening, you know, you call me, you know.
I will.
Remember when you tell me that? Yes, man, I get a big breakthrough, or I get this, or a little money forward. Yeah, man, call me, man. We must can get a percentage.
Yeah, a little something. A little something.
I'll be glad to give you a little 10%. No problem.
Hey, Kez, respect my brother. Nothing but love, man. We gonna talk soon.
Yes, man.
A family thing, though.
Blessing,
bro.
You can't buy time with your fortune. Appreciate the little things in your garden. And you don't know when life I go call you. So live it up because time can't bargain. Hey, this time no wait on no one. We're moving through the motions. Soon we pass and gone. Memories live on. Nobody don't know what this future gon' hold. So keep your loved ones them close. Watch your seas at your soul.